Hi everyone, today we're going to go over the feral changes that are coming up in 7.1.5. Again, like every other class, there's a lot of changes coming, and so we've broken this video down into 4 sections: artifact, skills, talents, PvP talents. And so we're going to go through each of these and show you all the changes. We want to try to do it in a pretty quick format. I know there's a lot of discussion around it, but I want to give you the facts really quick, and you can make your own decisions based off that. Here we go. Starting with the artifact weapon abilities, the only change that's coming is to Razorfang. Razorfang is now only increasing the damage of Rip by 4%, down from 7, so this is a 3% less damage. Switching gears to the skills, now in 7.1.5, Blizzard's applying these auras to different classes. Now these auras are basically overall damage increases, healing increases. So for example, Feral, in the MMO notes and in patch notes, it said 4%, but then there was a hot fix on December 22nd, which raised it to 8% increased damage, and that's direct damage and also dot damage. I want to just make a note here that these changes in the auras, this could mean that they're trying things out, and this could, result in specific skills being changed later. So this is really subject to change, but right now Feral is between 4 and 8% increased damage on PTR across the board for a bunch of their different skills and their bleed damage. So just keep that in mind, that this is very subject to change. Now going into the skills, the first is the passive for critical strikes. Feral Druids and even Guardian Druids are getting this increased critical strike chance from 10% pushed down to 5%, so this is 5% less critical chance. This is a passive. Next is infected wounds. The slow amount of infected wounds has gone down by 20%. Maim is getting a buff. The scaling for the maim damage for all combo point finishers is going way up. Specifically, I'm calling out the 5 combo point maim damage, which is getting a 250% damage increase. Now this is probably scaling off of your attack power, but still it's going from 325 to 575, so a big increased damage here. Omen of Clarity is getting a small change. There's just a tooltip update, but it might be a little bit more. So before, in 7.1, Omen of Clarity was saying that it was affecting all cat form abilities, and now they cost no energy. Now what it's saying is more specifically that the Shred, Swipe, or Thrash now cost no energy. Now it's interesting because you could have thought before, based on the old tooltip, that it could mean, okay, Rip, Rake, everything else under the sun, but no, now they're being very specific about that. Now we're going to jump right into the talents, and we'll just go down the whole list. So starting with Predator. Predator is being changed. Instead of just resetting the cooldown when something dies from a bleed effect of Tiger's Fury, now it's adding an additional 4 seconds to the existing Tiger's Fury, which maybe allows that to chain a little bit more. Seems like a PvE type thing, especially for leveling. It could be helpful since it is at the 15 level. Renewal's cooldown is being reduced by 30 seconds. Displacer Beast, the speed buff that you get after you use Displacer Beast is the duration is being reduced from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. Mass Entanglement is getting the duration raised from 20 seconds to 30 seconds, so plus 10 seconds of root. Incarnation is getting a buff. There will be an additional 10% reduction in the cost of all cat form abilities, so it's going from 50% to 60%. Sabertooth is getting another it's getting a buff. It's not only will Ferocious Bite refresh the duration of Rip, it also deals Ferocious Bite now deals an additional 15% damage. Elud's Guidance is getting a buff. It's getting additional 3 seconds of the additional combo points per second. So now instead of getting 1 combo point every second for 5 seconds, you're getting 1 combo point every second for 8 seconds, which basically is raising combo points from 5 to 8. Brutal Slash is getting a little bit of a buff. It's going from a 18-second recharge time to a 12-second recharge time. So this will be able to get stacks faster of this to be able to cleave shit down. Moment of Clarity is getting a buff and a tooltip change. So previously this said Omen of Clarity now affects the cat form abilities and regrowths. Now the tooltip is saying specifically that it's doing the next 3 shreds, thrashes, or swipes, and the buff is that the damage of these abilities is getting increased by 15%. Now jumping into the PvP changes. There are a lot of changes to the PvP talents. As you can see by this, I'm crossing out everything in red that's being totally removed, and the arrows are showing what's being shifted around. I know it's crude, but it's a quick understanding of there's a lot going on. Replacing Shape Mender Tooth and Claw. Tooth and Claw is a new ability. The maximum health while in bear form is increased by 15%, and the damage while in bear form is increased by 30%. And it also gives Enraged Maul, which mauls the target for a high amount of damage. So this kind of gives you a little bit more damage, a little bit more defensives while in bear form. I know bear form is already pretty popular for the PvP talents, so I see this as being pretty useful. The next talent is replacing Leader of the Pack. It is Thorns. So Thorns sprouts Thorns for 12 seconds on the friendly target. When the victim is a melee attack, Thorns deals nature damage equal to 5% of the attacker's total health. Again, this seems like a defensive buff to Feral. I'm pretty excited for this, as I have my Feral kind of gets pummeled after my survival instincts goes away, and my bear form can only take so much beating. Next, Savage Momentum is replacing Pouncing Strikes in the 6th tier, moving from the 10th tier. Replacing Savage Momentum is Fresh Wounds, which is moving from, I believe, the 28th tier to the 10th tier. Replacing Primal Vitality is Malorn's Swiftness. Your travel form movement speed while within a battleground arena is increased by 20%, and you always move at 100% while in travel form. So this to me is something for RBGs, something that allows you to move really quickly, especially if you're always moving at 100% speed while in travel form. That means the slows shouldn't affect you, right? Replacing Blood Trauma is Enraged Maim. You deal 600% physical damage and incapacitate the target for 6 seconds. This is a pretty big deal, seeing as a 6-second stun is a very long time. I think the Demon Hunters are the only ones that have a stun this duration. So this is pretty strong. I mean, Maim itself was doing a 5-second stun, but 6 seconds is a very long time in PvP land. Replacing Fury Swipes is Earthen Grasp. The Entangling Roots aren't dispellable, reduces the target's chance to hit, but now has a 10-second cooldown. So this is almost like, Sandstorm in Pokemon, reduce their accuracy. So this could be pretty interesting, especially for these melee cleaves that are rampant right now. Ferocious Wounds is taking the place of Fresh Wounds at the level 28 slot. This is attacking with 5 combo point. Ferocious Bite reduces the target's maximum health by 25% for 20 seconds. The wound can only be active on one target. This is kind of an interesting one. Reducing the overall health of a target means that they can only be healed up to 75% of their maximum health. So when this debuff goes away, they'll still be at 75%. So I think this is a pretty big, this is pretty... there's one thing to have Mortal Strike, the Mortal Wounds reducing healing, but when it's not even possible to heal past that point, that's pretty significant. So that wraps up all the changes for Feral Druid, going through not a lot in the artifact power area, a lot in the skills and talents, and a ton in the PvP talents. I think Feral Druids in PvP are going to be more competitive, and they already are competitive, but in terms of being surviving, having a longer stun, a lot of damage in the PvP land, I think there's a lot of buffs coming. I don't really see anything as being too detrimental to the Feral Druids, though, some other classes are getting buffed a lot, so I'm not sure where that places Ferals at the end of the day. And again, I want to note that all of these changes are subject to change, because the PTR server is still in PTR, public test. So before 7.1.5, there could be more changes, or these could be reverted or totally changed. But let me know what you think of these changes in the comments below. PvE, PvP, I think Feral Druids are in a pretty good place next time, and I'm a little biased because I just leveled one and I've been playing one in PvP a lot. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to be putting out, let me know if you guys like these walkthroughs of the patch notes. I want to know if they're helpful or not. I'll make more for other classes if you tell me which ones you want. I'm going to have some more coming out for Druid coming up. My benefit, my friend's benefit. So let me know below, guys. And thanks a lot for watching. If you like what you're seeing, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.